Doing so great, Robert Weichel. What you doing, man?
Well, you know what? I just wanted to share that we had an amazing first accountability call on Wednesday. I was absolutely overwhelmed by the response and the people that are ready to absolutely crush taking more listings.
Love it. How many people were on there?
I believe we started with 28, ended with 23, and it was oh, we're just getting warmed up.
Okay. Now let me ask, how many people do you usually have on there?
I usually have anywhere between 15 and 20 on a pretty regular basis, and we had some new faces on there, and I was super excited to see them, and we look forward to helping them grow as well.
And here's the thing, guys. If you guys don't know what the hell Robert Weichelt is talking about, right? There was a group of us that were like, okay, we're looking at our tools and stuff within our group. What are we missing right now? And a lot of agents ask for leads, right? It's well, do you have leads? Most agents don't work leads correctly. So there's the problem. They have an abundance of leads. They just don't work the ones that they have, is my honest opinion. But regardless, agents want, agents get, right? Like, this is where we tried to solve the problem. So a group of us went in and we started, we basically pooled and we bought a system that scrapes seller leads across the country. So we can pull seller leads at an instant, any point in time. We're merging that with the use of either iList or Easy Street Offers. I had Dan Noma on a couple of weeks ago, and stuff like that, to where we're not reaching out to these clients and saying, do you want to list your home, right? We're calling, we have offers in hand, and we're like, hey, look, I know that you're not listing with an agent. Are you willing to take an offer from an agent and compensate me as long as we agree on all the terms and stuff like that? It's a much gentler conversation. There's a little bit more to that script that actually gets you in the house, that gets you building rapport and relationship with them. Then you come back and offer options, and conversion ratio is really high. So we have this platform to pull leads anywhere in the country. And, I went to Robert because he already has his accountability call every single Wednesday, and was like, hey, will you help us with this, with the scripting, with holding people accountable? Because we can have all these leads that we want. If we don't call them, if we don't say the right things, if we don't do this, it's irrelevant. So that's what he's talking about. We will be sending out more information on how you get involved with that here in the near future. But it's a week old at this point in time. So right now it's there's a lot going on. So bear with us. That will be coming out soon. Beautiful, guys. Congratulations on like such a big accountability call, and we will grow that group to bigger than this if we do this correctly. So that's awesome. Who has our third and final win for the week here? And then I'm coming to you, Brandon, so be ready.
I had 3 team listings this week, and I also had a agent join. My team is now coast to coast. I had somebody join in Monterey
Oklahoma
area.
Oh, in Los Angeles area?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That guy, he was already with EXP, so I'm just saying I merged him in. But Oklahoma guy, yeah, he's coming. So
very cool, man. Congratulations. Did you get things figured out with onboarding for the agent that we spoke about yesterday?
yeah, I'm working that through with Emily and whatnot. Yep.
All right, sounds good. Beautiful, guys. Well, man, love the wins, love the momentum and stuff that we have going on here. And I'm telling you guys, it's just getting started. But again, I have been geeking out since I was in this mastermind call with Jeff, or this in-person mastermind last week with Jeff Russell, right? Like, I thought I was using AI, but guys, I had not even scratched the surface on what it is able to do, how it's able to increase efficiencies, and just everything that it can do. Here's the thing, it can be overwhelming, and I get that, right? Shit, I can be overwhelming, right? Like, if you ever meet me in person, I get it, right? But take it in small doses, work on it each day. It is not going anywhere, and it will change the trajectory of your business, because it will allow you to focus on the things that you are best at. And it will take some of your weaknesses and start turning those into skills and stuff like that. So I'm working on a number of different things here. And yes, So let's jump into things. Where's my man, Brandon Boyd? How you doing over there, brother?
Good, brother. How are you? Morning.
Dude, are you on top of Hollywood Hills over there? Where are you at right
Oh,
now?
just at the house in the pool area where I don't have any yelling kids or anything.
Okay, very cool, man. Well, look, I know that we were introduced by Joseph Limo, who's a great coach, leader within our organization. He had told me that you absolutely crushed it. He was like, Larry, you have to get Brandon onto your mastermind call. I was like, all right, well, let me talk to Brandon. Like, what are we going to talk about and stuff here? And so, we've had a couple of conversations and stuff at this point, but to give everybody a little background, right? Like, who the hell is Brandon Boyd? Like, why do we have almost 100 agents on here listening to you about AI? Because I'm convinced that there are no AI specialists because it's so new right now. Literally, you're learning every single day. I think these folks that are like, oh, I'm an AI specialist, I'm like, bullshit. You're just using it every single day and learning faster than others, which, hey, maybe in the grand scheme of things, that makes you a specialist versus others. But it is so new and it is moving so fast. Brandon, give us a little background on yourself, man, and kind of your background in real estate and kind of what led
Yeah,
you into getting into this AI space.
for sure. I agree with what you said about the specialist thing. I don't think anybody is. I think we're all just learning at a different rate. And it's exciting because it's not a technical thing. And that's like the one myth I just want to like disprove today for everybody. Like if you think it's so crazy technical, you're not a computer person. Like as long as you can speak in any language, like you're gonna advance in this. So my background, I was a loan officer for about 10 years and then shifted into more of the marketing space, videography, social media. And then as AI has kind of blown up, that's been a real semi-natural transition. But I work with secure choice lending, and I'm very fortunate that I get to literally spend my days researching AI, every new tool, every new thing, how to use it, how to apply it. And then it's as we've gained this knowledge, Mark Hoss, who's on this call, we've just tried to share it. We're like, hey, like everyone needs to be in on this, and we think it's a great value for the agents that work with us, and we're just trying to get it out to the world.
Beautiful. So tell me, when did your AI journey start? When were you and Mark like, hey man, I think there's something bigger to this, right? Like when did this journey start for you?
I mean, the minute ChatGPT came out, like we were like, okay, well, here's something. However, at first, like I don't know how many people were using it, in the first days. It was cool. It rewrote emails all right and things like that. It really wasn't a lot to it. People obviously were confused on, is it a new Google? Like, what is it? So we just kind of dove in, but the technology, if anybody is in this space or messing with it at all, it is moving so fast, like so incredibly fast. Every day there's something new. Every company is doing a new model. They're trying to top the last one. So we've just really done our best to like stay on top of everything, see how we can use it, see how we can integrate it. And yeah, we were pretty on it from the jump, but it's just the more it's grown, the more we've leaned into it.
Okay. And here's the thing, guys, right? There's no shortage of mortgage companies. There's no shortage of title companies. There's no shortage of real estate agents. This is where we talk about every single day. The more value you add to others, the more valuable you become, right? And I told Brandon, I was like, look, don't come on here. Like, I want you guys to teach these agents things that they can start implementing into AI. I want you guys to be a resource at your lending company, which is in 42 different states, that other lenders don't have access to. I think this AI teaching agents how to do that builds a lot of value and rapport. And I told him, I was like, look, when Mark comes on, don't tell me that you can close a loan in 30 days, right? Don't tell me that you can do a 650 FICO score. Like, I expect that, right? Like, that is the status quo. Like, let's talk about how we can help increase production, decrease costs, close things faster, do this, do this, do this, and do something different and better than the competition, which is what you guys should be using AI to do, is differentiate yourself from the competition and stuff. So, man, I absolutely love it. We'll have Mark on at the end, and we'll do some Q&A and stuff. But as I talked about, like, where do we start with AI? Like,
Yeah.
actually in the chat box and stuff, who works with AI, right? Like if you worked with AI, put the amount of time that you've been playing with AI and stuff like that. Do that in the chat box and stuff right now for me, just so Brandon has a little idea of what kind of a crowd that we're dealing with here.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to just see like who's paying for Plus, like who's using it daily and who has the, you know, at least the $20 version would be helpful to know. That'll give us
All
a
right.
good start on where I should.
Who's using ChatGPT Plus? It's $20 a month
And worth it.
and worth it. Free version.
There's
Yes,
so
you
many different
hourly.
AIs, obviously at this point, you know, but I always just say like ChatGPT is Coca-Cola. Like you're never gonna go wrong. They're always gonna be there. They're usually ahead of the curve. I definitely recommend $20 a month. It's worth it. Oh,
Beautiful.
love. I saw Gamma in there and Lovable. That's okay. Keith killing it. All right. Who else we got?
Keith is forced. He's an executive, and
Okay.
his president and CEO
Had to
forces
be
him. Like
there.
he was hosting the mastermind that I was at last week. That got me
Oh,
all
I love
geeked out on this. So Keith doesn't have a choice right now.
it. All right. It looks like a good amount of people are on the Plus.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And Perplexity, I saw in there, Valerie. That's great. Perplexity's awesome. They just released a couple of really cool new things too. Canva, yep. Canva's got some AI stuff. All right, you ready to tee in? I think I got a good.
Let's go for it. Where
All
do you
right,
want to start? So you have a background of users. I mean,
here.
there's a
Let's
pretty good group of people here that are using it on a regular basis and stuff here. So
Cool. All right, sharing my screen. So we're just gonna start. I always like to, regardless. Again, we could go into 1,000 different AIs, and some of the stuff that Larry was saying, like yes, it can get overwhelming at times because you don't know where to go or what to use. However, again, this is Coca-Cola. Like ChatGPT is great to have your foundation in, and even if I'm doing stuff in, you know, more complex scenarios like building little apps or whatever, a lot of the times I'm still starting in ChatGPT. I still love using O3 to plan, to um kind of bounce ideas off of. And this is one of the main themes that I hope kind of runs through the conversation is it's a collaborator. It's not a replacement. Okay. You the people that are not using it, they may be replaced, but it makes you irreplaceable, right? It's if you're, you know, jack of all trades, master of none, you now have an expert in everything that's helping you along. So I definitely recommend, again, ChatGPT. And there's a few different ways to go about it, obviously. Just looking at the top, I like to do a quick breakdown. There's different models, right? And they haven't really done a great job with like naming them or even explaining why you use them. I like to just keep it simple. 4.0 is kind of the everyday workhorse. That's your Google replacement. That's your quick search and understanding. That's your, you know, you can do conversations with it. You can have full conversations, kind of hard to do on a call like this. But something I've done in the past is it can, when you use the voice mode, you can literally have a live translation. Like somebody speaks Spanish, tell ChatGPT, hey, every time they speak Spanish, return it to me in English. Every time I speak English, return it to them in Spanish. You can now have conversations with people in different languages, right? So 4.0 is great. It's great for shopping. They have a unique UI for shopping, like find a new MacBook Pro
yeah,
on.
I think like this was a topic of the mastermind last week. People will start using this over Google, over Bing, because those ones are kind of like ones like this spreads out. Like I was going, I'll give you a prime example why these results and stuff are coming up here. Ariana has a $1 million REO in Houston. The photographer called and was like, hey, somebody broke into the lockbox. I was like, babe, we got to get there tomorrow. Otherwise, this is a 6-month eviction process, right? Like, he said nobody was there. I was like, great. If there's stuff in, we're putting it on the curb. And she was like, well, how are we going to get it? I was like, look, I'm going to bring my stuff. We're going to drill the lock out and then replace the lock, right? So it's secure. And she's like, you can do that. I was like, look, I'm a little rusty, right? But yes, I can do it. And I went to ChatGPT. I was like, hey, can you refresh my memory on how to drill out a lock? And
Wow.
literally, I had 3 different versions in seconds on 3 different ways to do that. And I mean, we were able to knock it out in about 12 minutes once we got there. It was easy. And I think this will start replacing search engines.
Yeah, and I think again, some of the stuff we're not gonna be able to demo as well, just because it's like a Zoom interface. But like, even with the conversation, it has a camera, So you just like the exact scenario you just said, you could pull up the camera. ChatGPT can literally see what you're doing. Be like, hey, like, am I doing this right? Like, I put it here. Should I put it here instead or whatever? Like, my power went out and I needed a generator and the generator wasn't starting. So I was literally showing it the carburetor and helped me take the carburetor out. But I had no idea. But ChatGPT step by step was explaining it. So there's so much. Again, that's why it's hard with AI. There's so many different ways you can go about explaining what it does because it kind of does everything, you know? Um, Back to like where we're at. So just starting to show you 4.0. 4.0 is great. Again, for quick searches, you don't need Google anymore. It has a great little shopping interface they just did in the last couple weeks. See, it actually shows you, you know, pictures in it. You can click, go to the different links. That's awesome. Again, 4.0 is great. I like to really dive into O3 though. So O3 is a reasoning model. And, you know, if you're just getting into AI, reasoning models are, they have like a thought process behind them. They're trying to replicate, you know, the human thought process. Like when you get up in the morning, you know to get up, to go take a shower, to go to your car. Like those are all thought processes you have. Well, the AI is trying to replicate that, and I'll show you how. So we're gonna do really quick. The first example I want to give is everyone doing video? Is everyone doing video, like social media video, Instagram Reels, etc.?
Or most of the people say they're doing it. I see their social medias and like it's questionable, but most people say they're doing it. A big part of this group is for sure.
So here's what we're gonna do. This is a transcript from a video that I just did like 2 days ago on my Instagram about what is vibe coding. Okay. And the very easiest first thing to do is if everyone's using the captions app, at the end of the video, there's a button that just says copy transcript. There's so much value in that transcript, in my opinion. It's like gold. You can put it in. And the first thing is to get an Instagram caption. I think that's a very obvious thing. And I hope a lot of people are doing that. The next thing is ChatGPT does have one of the best image generators. So it's also on top of having it do an Instagram caption, we're going to have it create 3 different Instagram reel covers. You know, instead of going to Canva and having to design it, you can build it in here. And let's see, we may just skip over to when it's done, but I just want to show you the thinking process as well. So give it a second. And I want to show you the difference between 4.0. 4.0 doesn't really have this where the reasoning models do. So there's a few reasoning models you can choose from. If you have the plus, 0.4 mini, 0.4 mini high, pro, the rest are not. So those are the 3 main reasoning models. And if you have the pro one, you have 0.1 pro mode. So boom. Here, let me see if I can.
And the reasoning model, correct me if I'm wrong, but takes a little bit longer because it's actually thinking through and stuff like that. So, you know, the
Yes.
basic models and stuff will spit out answers and stuff because it's just trying to give you straight facts and stuff like that. Would that be a good way to kind of explain it?
Yeah, exactly. So it literally has like a chain of thought. Like it's going through the thought. Even when I do images, I still use O3 because I want to have it has a better context of like what you're trying to accomplish because it thinks a little bit more about it, right? And I'm not the best prompter by any means. So the fact that I have just a little extra, AI input on it to me is very helpful. So here's an example. This is the exact prompt we did, although we're just going to skip along. So this is it thought for 42 seconds. Now AIs can think up to 20 minutes. The new Claude model, they said, can go off for up to 7 hours. So it just depends. But this is just a quick, easy one. It's nothing crazy, but here's the thought process it went through, and you can read that. So here's our first one. Second one, thought again. It was really cool. I saw in one of the prompts, it knows that it couldn't create multiple images in one prompt, so it reprompted itself. So I thought that was pretty smart and kind of a little bit of an agentic feature, meaning it's just kind of like thinking and doing on its own, which is newer. And I thought it did a great job with these covers, and this is something you can easily do. And then let's see. And then also same thing. ChatGPT has the ability to understand PDFs. It has the ability to understand images better than you may think. So I saw this on Instagram. I thought the color scheme was really cool. So I just threw it in. I'm like, hey, use this color scheme and some imagery. And it redid them. Super.
Can I show you at that same mastermind? I was sitting, I was at dinner with, I think it was, I see Eric Rhodes on here. I see Jeff Russell and David Russell. We were sitting there. And Jeff and David were like, dude, you're like the goddamn Ario Yoda. And we were laughing about it. I was like, yo, that's kind of cool. Right. So I went back that day and I was like, hey, can you make an image? Right. I want like this forest in the background. Like I want to be in like Yoda type scrubs and stuff like that, kind of meditating with a bunch of foreclosed houses and stuff behind me. And it was like we had to go through some trade law type things where I couldn't use the word Yoda. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. Right. So I didn't violate anything. And then it came spitting out this image here, and I was dying, right? I was like, yo, that's like, I don't know if I would ever use it or anything like that, but it was fun, it was entertaining and stuff like that for the moment to just to show what it could do. And that took maybe like 5 or 10 minutes of going through different prompts and educating it, like, hey, we can't use Yoda, right? We can't do this, we can't do that. I was like, okay, well, what about this? Well, can we do this? Like, help me think through this type thing. You can go ahead and share your screen again. I just thought that was funny.
Cool. Just back to the same flow. So why I think transcripts are gold is because it says a lot about you, right? Like how you speak, what your topic is. So just the same thing, based on the video I did, help me come up with 3 more Instagram reels with hooks and potential reel covers. Obviously, you don't need to do the reel covers every time. I've just been testing prompts and I like to see kind of what it comes up with. So it gave me a few different reels, 57-second landing page. And then obviously it's really easy to expand on that. So say we like the first one. Let's see, I'll just say real concept 1. Also, it has in thread memory. So it has memory throughout, but let's just explain in thread or contextual memory. So when you're speaking in the same thread, it knows everything you've already talked about. Sometimes I find it's really good to reiterate yourself though, especially when prompting for images and things. Even though it remembers, the more input and context you give it, the better it's going to respond. So there's our video ideas. And then obviously we had to give a caption for it, pretty detailed. And then now we can have it give a script, like give a 60-second script for real idea 1, no cut-ins, just script. A lot of times, sorry, I always just tell it, I don't like all the cut-ins it gives. It's a good, you can do it, but it'll give you like, okay, at the 30-second mark, do B-roll of this. And that's very helpful for some people. For me, it's I just like to take it. A lot of times I do AI avatars and things, and then I have to cut it out anyways. So sorry, that's force a habit. But so again, thought about it for a second. It remembers that the first one was the 57-second landing page. And then it's going to give me my no BS script that I can just copy. And either, again, you can say this, or there's AI avatars, and that's something we can discuss a little bit if we have time. So this is, I think, a great workflow, just day to day, that's easy to start implementing. It's nothing crazy, in my opinion. Again, Captions app, copying transcript, getting your caption, getting your reel cover, coming up with more ideas. You can even have it come up with, like, based on these video ideas, help me begin to formulate an overall brand strategy. And again, you can be as detailed as you want. You can be as quick as you want. It's a collaborator. A lot of times, like, maybe I have these big ideas, but I'm not super organized in my day-to-day thought process. So I like to use AI to just kind of zone me in a little bit more. And it's great with that. So same thing, going through the thought process. Any questions, comments, concerns with where we're at? Good?
Guys, like this can be as interactive as we need to. If you need him to slow down, if you're like, hey, what did you like make sure that you guys are speaking up and stuff like that.
Hey, Brandon, will AI give me the different, you're explaining different versions, 0.3, 4.0, plus things like that, which I know most of them, but will any AI give me the general description on what program each one can do and what it can do?
You can ask it, and it has web search ability, so it can kind of then go online and like look up ChatGPT and then kind of see what's on the website about itself. There's a great page in their API docs that has, I can put it in the chat in a little bit, but it's kind of like a breakdown of like what each model is really good at, what their intelligence levels are they reasoning models? I'd have to hunt it down really quick, but it's in their API docs. There's a section.
Gotcha. Because mine will sometimes upgrade, and when it upgrades, it'll go to some things that I've never seen. And some of it will be conversational, some of it will take more time to think. Some of it will come up with, some of it won't even give me sources, but it's coming up with so many different aspects of it. Sometimes it's a little bit confusing. So I don't know if there was a Bible somewhere that would tell me which one did what. So I can kind of hone in on what I really needed.
Yeah, I also have some graphics that break down each one too. Maybe afterwards I can do like a follow-up email to everybody with some of this kind of stuff that we are covering that we can't really dive too deep into. But yeah, the overall scheme of it is like I kind of explained it first. 4.0 is like the quick workhorse, more of a search model. It can search the web. It's more like quick question answer. 0.3 is more of the thought process. It's the more planning, the more complex tasks. That's the quickest way to think about it.
Hey, Brandon, if I'm sorry, Mashawn, did that answer the question? I don't want to divert too fast.
Yeah, it gave me a general idea because the more I dived into it, the more options it obviously gave me. But the options were so deep, I didn't understand who was what. So 4.0 and 3.0 kind of gives me a general introduction on what the models are for what I needed for, basically.
Yeah, it's the more complex kind of things you want, like planning things out, creating presentations, anything like that, marketing plans that are longer, like you want 0.3. It's more the like quick question answer stuff for 4.0. Although it's really smart too. Like I don't want to like undercut it. It's still great. But 0.3 is just a little better with stuff like that. And then you can kind of get into the weeds on like all the other models. I would say there's just a regular model, you know, LLM, and then there's a reasoning model, and then there's different versions of that. Like there's 4.5 in there, and that's just a larger version of 4.0 that's a little bit better with like writing. Again, they all have their like strengths, and you kind of get in the weeds a little bit with that kind of stuff. But I would say all you really need is 4.0 and 0.3. Okay.
And let's break this up into two sections there, Brandon, right? Because I think there's some people that are using on a daily basis. There's some people that are like, damn, this is moving so fast. And this is where I was like, look, it's one day at a time. And every day it gets faster, smarter, you get faster and smarter. So for somebody that maybe has used this very surface level, like write me a property description, right? Like, or it asks a random question to see if it really works or something like that. From a real estate professional, like what's the first two things that somebody that's like very minimal has used chat, they've heard it, they maybe created a free account or something like that. What's the first two things that they should do to start being able to work with AI?
I think the first thing is like instead of Google, like for 7 days, just challenge yourself. Like don't search it. Put into ChatGPT and see the response you get. Another thing I always like to tell everybody is just to have that initial conversation with it, explaining what you do and who you are. Okay, so literally sit down. If you have a question about whatever in your business, just, hey, this is me. This is what I do. I'm a realtor. I'm new to AI. I want to start implementing it in my business. I'm not sure how. Here's what I'm doing for marketing. Here's what I'm doing for sales. I'm doing cold calling. I'm doing this, whatever. And then you can literally ask it like, how do I start using AI more? How do I implement in my business? These are the things I'm currently doing without it. And you'd be very surprised by the answer.
Yes, that's perfect, guys. If you don't know what to ask it, tell it that, and it will give you some ideas and funnel you in the right direction. I was on a mastermind with Bridget Romo, who runs all of my social media. And I was like, look, you need to have profiles like GPTs for all of your different clients and stuff out there with their persona, with their tonalities, with their focus, with their visions, values, etc. Right? Like, so that way, when you create content, it is like spot on. It's Larry motherfucking White, it's Bashaw Murray, it's Ben Herring, right? Like that, it's everything to all of those people. And she was like, oh, well, yeah, let me think about that. I was like, no, you're missing the point. Like, ask it, what should I be thinking about to this? And then it spit out, she was like, oh my God, right? Like This is where use it a little bit each day and it will change the game for you, I promise. I see Eric here who's up in Sherman, Texas, man. Love to see you on here. He says that it can act like an assistant, but ask for access to your Google Drive, etc. Would you recommend allowing access? And how far off is it taking place from an actual VA?
I don't usually do it with my Google Drive. Claude, I let do my Google Drive just because it has the full Google suite and it does emails, it does Drive, it does events, it does everything. Typically, yes, it can access it pretty well. However, most of the time, again, I like to reiterate things. I'm very detailed with AI. Whatever it is, I just grab it and put it directly in. Even if I'm doing images and it's like redoing my logo, I put my logo in 4 different times. Like if I don't like it, I put it in again and I re-prompt it a different way. I just feel like, yes, it has the ability to go call on it. But to me, I'm just more manual about it. I think it does better if you're just very direct with it.
So that's, you know, but this is what I would recommend for you, Eric, is try it. Like if you're like, try it. You can always restrict access. You can always take access back. You don't know if you like it or not until you start dancing with it and like feeling out what it can do from you. And Brandon speaking from his perspective, because he knows all of these other tools and stuff like that. You are on a different path than him. So you have to start here today and figure out what you want it to do. I can tell you, and Michelle, I'll get to you next here, buddy. But like, since I've been geeking out on it, I was like, man, right? How do I duplicate? How do I scale what I'm doing? Because some of you guys, right? Let's say the MCM Capital Group, which a lot of you guys are a part of for the REO business and stuff like that. 250 agents. I've probably spoken to 230 of you guys. How do I duplicate myself? How do I scale that? Because that's fine now, but as we continue to grow as REOs, that's going to be harder and harder. I did give ChatGPT access to my Google Drive, and it created this entire input form for the REO Alliance input form. And so this is the edit page. It actually created, and then it shared access to mine, which was way faster than Kathy and I could have done it ourselves and stuff here. And the first question, right, we get through the basic information and stuff here. And then it says, do you have REO experience? Well, look, if they say yes, if they say yes, then it goes straight into section 4 asking about it. If they say no, then it drops down to section 6 talking about their traditional business and stuff here. And if they say, but maybe, you know, it goes to a different path running through all of this. And then it kind of goes through like, what are your visions? What are your alignments and stuff like that? And some of you guys have already tested this and stuff for me. But at the end, it says, hey, thanks for doing this. Now that I have that information, right? Like I can really detail a plan for you, right? And I can do this. And I will share with you guys at the end, the GPT that I've been doing, because a lot of you guys are like, well, I don't know what to say, do this. Like literally ask Larry MF White. Like I've been spending the last week putting everything that I can think of, all of the tools, all of the resources, what's the monetary value of this into this. And literally you will be able to access it anywhere. Just you can do it with the free version, you can do it with the paid version to duplicate what's in here. Because I know that's hard to do because we all have different paths and stuff there. So that's what I've been working on that you guys will have access. I'll drop the link in here here shortly. Brandon, I see Mark's jumping in. What kind of things Mark talking about over here?
Yeah, he's got a lot in the chat. You just want to jump in and speak really quick. And again, a lot of this, none of this, I like what you said too. None of this is like a directive. I'm not saying this is exactly how you do things. The whole goal of this is to give you guys ideas of how you can then go and use it. And none of this is like, no, don't do that or don't do this. It's just to like guide you down the next, step in your own path.
Mark, what you got for us, man?
Yeah, so there was a question about can it replace a VA? And this is more like a higher level view of AI. But as of right now, the best way to look at AI is that 2 years ago, AI was as smart as maybe a kindergartner, right? Today, AI is as smart as maybe a college level freshman, right? And the best way is like, okay, cool, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because, and the way I want to expand on this is that AI is very good at doing certain tasks, right? Can an AI beat you in a chess game? Yes, 100 times out of 100, AI can beat you at a chess game. It's not even a question. Is AI smarter than you at math? Yes, not even a question. But we as humans are so incredibly smart at things, being able to communicate, being able to just, hey, move my hands, pick up this water, being able to then type. We have so many different layers to us. So that is the level of evolution that AI is currently undergoing. So again, that's where you look at it from a broad spectrum. 2 years ago, AI was as smart as a chimpanzee, kindergartner, right? Right now, it's as smart as maybe, again, like I mentioned, freshman level college. The problem with AI, and the reason why we're so big into AI, and the reason why it's very important to what Brandon said, reinforcing your brain to use AI on a day-to-day basis. And again, it just starts with the very basic simples. Do not Google anything. And if you are Googling something, don't use Google, use Gemini, right? Gemini is just Google's version, right? And the reason why you have to do that is, again, whether you are just going to the store, you want a recipe, you want to think anything that you just want to ask, throw it into a ChatGPT so that you can reinforce your brain, reinforce it, because we've all been trained for 25 years to use Google to get our answers. That's a lot of retraining. That's a lot of reprogramming your brain to not do something that you've been doing for 25 years, but that is the level. And the reason why this is super important is because I use this demonstration, I use this way to express it is, if your grandparents are still alive, which I hope they all are, they don't use smartphones, right? Does anyone have somebody that's like, hey, I won't adopt a smartphone, right? Could any one of us operate without our smartphone? Personally, me, I cannot operate without my phone. Like, it's just physically impossible. But they won't adopt smartphones. And the best way to put this is people who are growing up now, people who are 13, 17, 23, 27, they are growing up in a world of AI. So this evolution or this revolution of AI will just become completely natural to them, right? Because they weren't programmed to Google something for 25 years like you have been programmed to Google something for 25 years. So it will become natural. It will become super easy for them to embrace it, right? So that's where all of us have a different type of level, a different type of learning, is that we have to reprogram our brains. And the reason why that's so important is it goes back to that step again, right? That AI is as smart as a college freshman right now. Well, in 3 years, AI will be smarter in reality than every single human being on Earth. Then the scary part about AI is then what happens in 3 years from that? Then it will be smarter than things that we cannot possibly fathom. So the whole concept of that is you will be able to give AI, right? That concept of, hey, can I replace my VA with this? It really doesn't. I don't know what your virtual assistant does, right? In my opinion, the answer is no, right? We work with AI every single day here at Secure Choice Lending, trying to increase our turn times, trying to increase our speed, trying to increase our processing, trying to increase all efficiency levels. It cannot replace a human being. It physically cannot, right? That being said, what I just said, the law of evolution basically says it will be able to in 18 months, right? So if in 18 months you have been trying to do this, well, then in 18 months, you will know the steps of what you need to do to be able to do that, or to be able to make that next step, to be able to land that listing presentation, or to be able to create those AI slides, things like that. So that's just where I just wanted to jump in and kind of be like, look, you have to use it on a day-to-day basis, not because it's just, I want you to, it's just because it's just the way the world is evolving to.
Yeah, no, man, I could not back you more. And a common phrase that we've been talking about here is like, look, AI is not going to replace you. The agents that use AI will, because they'll be able to capture more market share. They'll be able to be more efficient. They're not going to be tied down with these little tasks and stuff like that, right? So it's a step-by-step process. You don't have to be here tomorrow, right? You don't have to try and duplicate what Brandon and Mark have done. But I promise you, if you lean into this, you can learn faster than they did with AI right? Because they were on the infancy stages and stuff like that. Same thing. Like when I share with you guys my GPT that I created, that I've just been, every time I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that. I'm going to it and be like, hey, can you remember this for our value proposition? Hey, can you remember this? My vision is when new agents come and join our group, they fill out this input form so I know everything about their business. And imagine when you, like if you joined our group and you got a customized 90-day business plan. Okay, day one, you got to order your business cards. Day two, you got to do this. Don't forget all of the things that you already did, right? Boom, 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 boom. And they had a customized, because Melissa is different from Robert, who's different from Maggie. And like, that is like my overall vision, where we're guiding people more in the right direction, because we have so many tools and resources. I forget them, you forget them, we all think about them in a different way. So start using it daily, please. Like as Mark said, just because I don't want you guys to be left behind, and you don't have to be a pro at it, just start learning and asking it more questions. How can I use this better? Eric, you're talking about VAs and stuff. What this can do is, if you tell it what you do on a daily basis, the things that you don't like to do, it can help create a SOP, right? A workflow of what we need your VA to do on a daily basis that makes your life easier. So again, it may not replace your VA right now, but think about doing that. If it gives you, okay, your VA needs to do these 8 tasks. Can we train how do I train my VA better? Like, keep asking it more questions. How do I train my VA to do that as fast as possible? Oh, well, here's a 5-step process on how to do this. Oh, perfect, right? Like, that's where it can accelerate. Instead of your VA taking a month to get up and running, it might take 3 or 4 days to get up and running. So just giving you guys things to think about, but ask it more questions. If you don't know what to ask it, like, how should I be using this right now? What are some of the top people that are using this now doing, etc. Questions. So look, we got about 13 minutes left. So why don't we transition here? You guys think about questions, comments, concerns. We just heard from Mark, right? And I wanted to talk to Mark about a little bit more, because again, I think this is a huge value add. You guys all have lending partners and stuff. Some of you guys might use them already, but if not, like, this is a huge value add. Your partners that you use in real estate, it shouldn't be like, oh, I've used so-and-so for so many years. That's great. How are they helping you grow? How are they helping you do this? I'm not saying you have to cut anybody out, but think about how you can have these strategic relationships to help you build some of this. So Mark, I want to give you the floor for a few minutes, man, and just talk about like what you guys have built. I believe you guys are in 42 different states. What sets you guys out apart from the competition? And like, how are you helping agents grow their production, close deals faster, etc.? If you wouldn't mind jumping in there, my friend.
Yeah, I'll jump in quickly. I'll make it quick, and maybe I'll hand it over to Boyd, because I know you guys kind of cut off at 9, and maybe he'll be able to do a quick 3 to 5 minute presentation, just some more future AI, kind of get your brain thinking a little bit, right? Because all he's really been able to do is just show one thing. So maybe he'll do a quick demonstration of a lot of these other AIs to really get your brain moving. Like, shit, this is crazy. Like, I want more, right? It's kind of like golfing. When your first 17 holes suck, but your 18th hole is great. You want more. It's the same concept with AI. Once you accomplish something from it, you'll be like, gosh, I can't stop, can't put it down. But just real quick about secure choice lending. Yeah, we're licensed in 42 states, and very similar to what Larry said earlier. Like, we're not your typical mortgage company. I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, use us. I'm not like a hard sells guy. That's not who I am. That's not who we'll ever be, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, cool, we answer the phones on the weekend, or hey, we're great, we can do FICO scores down to 500. Who can't these days? If you can't do that, then in reality, this is not the industry, especially over the last 3.5 years, where volume has been cut down by about 80% for loan officers, for real estate agents, for title, for everyone in this industry, right? So you have to be willing to figure out ways to do that. And that's what is the next model. Exactly what Larry just said about 3 minutes ago. What can a lending partner do for you as a loan officer? Yes, I'm going to answer the phone on the weekend. Yes, I'm going to service your clients. But in reality, we are now a team, right? We're a mortgage company. We do not sell real estate here at Secure Choice Lending is one of our rules, right? Because we believe we are partners. We are a team with you. So we want to help show you. We want to help demonstrate to you guys, hey, how can we help you learn more, right? The world is evolving into an AI-driven world. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take some time, especially in real estate. Reason being is the first-time home buyer is 38, right? So the question, or the reason why we are so big into AI is what happens when the first-time home buyer is 38? Yes. So the first-time home buyer, the people who are 27 right now, they will eventually be the first-time home buyer. And I can tell you, this revolution we're in is not going to be the same. The way we are doing real estate, the way we are doing mortgage, none of it will be the same in about 7 to 10 years. Other industries may happen quicker, right? Because our direct consumer is the consumer, the homeowner, right? So they still are going to want this feeling like they're a little bit older when it comes to home buying right now. And it's just because affordability is so incredibly difficult. But ultimately, yeah, we are building out a lot of personal individual AIs. But not only that, we build it for our loan officers. We build it for you as real estate agents as well. So the best thing you can do right now is just follow Boyd, but follow Secure Choice Lending on Instagram. We are going to be releasing some impressive technology kind of to bridge that gap. A lot of people here on this call today were like, hey, which AI do I use? It's incredibly difficult. You have ChatGPT, you have Claude, you have Perplexity. There's so many. And in reality, unless you are focusing entirely on one, you're never going to be able to capture all of them. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bridge that gap for real estate and mortgage, where we are building an AI that is specific to real estate and mortgage. And for real estate, it is going to be specific to marketing and to branding, right? So you will be able to go into our AI and you'll be able to just clone your face and it'll be able to do all of these different types of listing presentations. It'll be able to do a different type of stuff, right? So give us about 30, 45 more days. Stay tuned. You guys will see some amazing stuff that we'll be releasing. And again, it's for the sole benefit of you. You don't have to use us. This isn't like no cost involved with this. We are simply trying to help you because in reality, when you see that we are helping you, you will be like, okay, crazy. I would like to use them for other things because that is, we find this as a partnership, a value, and we just want to value out to you guys. So
And Mark, just to make sure we'll make sure that I drop it in, which is the correct secure lending.
the top one.
The top one here.
Yes.
Beautiful. I will put that in the chat box for everybody as well.
Then I'll just hand it back to Boyd to see if he wants to do a quick demo of some impressive things that AI can currently do.
Yeah, I just want to do one more thing because, like I said, I feel like we got kind of stuck on some easy stuff, but I do want to show you how far you can push it with some of the technology. So I'm going to show you something called GenSpark really quick. GenSpark and Manus are both very similar, and again, you guys can kind of take the time to look into them. Let me share my screen again. So what's cool about GenSpark is it's kind of like an aggregate of a lot of different AI tools and even chats, right? So you can do AI slides, sheets, and go download things, even make calls for you. So you can literally put in like, call Mark, ask him about, our call tomorrow morning, and it will come back with a transcript, details about it, key points and takeaways. So this is a really cool one, has every image model you can imagine. But one thing that it can do really well is it can actually spin up websites all within one flow. So let me give an example of one. Here's one I did yesterday because it takes a little bit to do these. So I literally put in the link for a Zillow listing. This one, the kitchen was ugly. I mean, the house isn't beautiful, but this was somebody on the call. I want to use the ChatGPT image generator to redo the kitchen in this listing, grab the image as well. So these also have computer use aspects to them. So it can actually go on and like screenshot and get the image. I didn't need to copy the image, save it, put it in. It went and got it by itself. And I told it, hey, you have 15 grand to redo this kitchen. Give me a list of everything you're buying, where you got it, then create a final image with it all installed and put together. Then I want you to spin up a single page property website with details about the property, the images in it, the area, schools, restaurants, anything else a buyer might be interested in knowing. And then I also want you to code in and throw a mortgage calculator at the bottom. So this is all one prompt, one flow, and it's able to get pretty wild. So it went through, I think it used Redfin instead because Zillow has some blocks for bots, but it knew to pivot to Redfin. It gave us our breakdown for what we want to buy and put in the kitchen, redid the kitchen, and then here we go. It actually spun up the actual web page. Let me just expand it really quick.
Guys, think about if you're working with a newer investor. Hey, we need to find, this investor is looking for this amount of return, find a home in this price range, tell me the offer that we need to make at, look at the pictures, right? See what needs to be done. Let us know what you did with it, where you bought this stuff. Literally, you could create an entire game plan for an investor just like that.
Yeah, I created the entire page. It got details about it. Again, it gave us our breakdown. You could do variations of this. Hey, do it with 10 grand, 15 grand, do breakdowns of 5% down, 10% down, you know, all about the schools, what the shopping is locally. And what's cool about this, even did our mortgage calculator, details about the agent, it researched it. What's so great about tools like GenSpark, and then I don't want to leave out Manus as well, is very similar, is it can really do a lot of like research. It has computer use abilities. It's a very agentic model. And this is the biggest thing that I want to drive home. Like, this is where everything is going, is to more agentic models. We talked about a VA. Like, in the future, yes, it will be able to replace a lot of those things because it can go online and do things by itself, basically. There are already examples of it. Google has Project Mariner, and ChatGPT has Operator. So their computer use, they can literally go on Google, hunt things down for you, screenshot things. It can go on ChatGPT itself and put prompts together for you. It can get pretty crazy the more that you kind of work into this. But I thought this was a really cool example of a very complex prompt where I didn't even really need to reprompt it at all. I mean, obviously you can go back in and tell it, hey, I don't like the color scheme. I want to add this or change this. But pretty wild. And the ability to spin up websites, I think, is an amazing tool that you can use on a potentially day-to-day basis. Even for
And Maggie, you're absolutely right. Something like this, like Blue Hammer is also using some AI. So it's been training longer for one specific skill, which may make that have a competitive advantage for today. But the more you learn to use this, could this be 90% as effective, 95% like today, right? And then as it learns more, could it replace? Yes, it absolutely could replace it. But again, it's still learning and stuff. And Blue Hammer has been learning and stuff for years with costs, with contractors, right? So it just has more data and stuff right now. And but something like this could be a very quick second, almost instantaneously. You're absolutely right.
Yep. I just want to show you quick too. You can also do a similar workflow in ChatGPT. However, ChatGPT is not going to grab the image. So I just gave it the image. Same thing. I wanted to redo with 15 grand. Tell me where you got everything. I think it did a great job. Again, what I really like to look at too is like, what did it think about to be able to accomplish this? And you can go through the workflow. It literally went to architecturaldigest.com to understand like how to redo this living room and like research it. You know, it went down, totaled everything out. Oh, great. It's under 15K. So I love looking at the thought process to this as well. You don't obviously have to. You can see the websites it shopped at to get everything. You can see it's all legit, why it did it, what it did. These are really cool things.
Guys, this elevates your game to where you don't have to have done all of this yourself in the past and stuff like that. It just elevates you guys to the next level and stuff there. So, man, I know that we got a few minutes left. There's a couple more things that I want to run through, and then we can stay on for questions and stuff after that. But guys, you got to start leaning into this, right? And here's the thing, because I get a lot of questions. Well, I don't know what to say to people. Well, this and that, right? Like, this is where I want all of you guys. We're just in Chat GPT right here. Go to the GPT store over here on the left-hand bar, right? These are all things that other people have created. I mean, you can do it for astrology. Like, there's GPTs for everything. I think all of you guys should have a GPT. But again, we're talking that can be in additional steps and stuff. We don't need to talk about that today. For today, How do you use this? How do you tap into this? Larry MF White is the one that I've been training, and I will continue to train with updates in our group, with this, with that. You can ask it for scripting. You can ask it for anything. If I was like, you know, an agent asked me, how do I get into the REO market in real estate? And it's going to come here, and it's going to be searching everything that I've been feeding it and stuff here on this. And so step one, right? You're not just chasing random listings and stuff like that. Get the REO basics down. So you got to learn the language, join the REO network, right? And stuff here. And then it starts giving you all of these different pieces of it. But here's the thing right here, and it can start booking a call. So it starts talking, it knows that we've created the REO Alliance, right? Proximity is power. Consult, it knows that we have 8 different national asset management companies, and we train agents on how to get listings, how to do the BPOs, how to build these bank relationships. And they can literally book a call, like it has my calendar link and everything fed into here and stuff as well. And so I'm still working on this every single day, because I'm noticing that it should be driving them to the input form versus my calendar link, because the more info I have on their current business and stuff like that. But I want all of you guys to go to ChatGPT and search for Larry MF White, because I'm literally just plugging in all of the pieces of our value proposition into this. So that way, like, it can be duplicated. If you don't know what we have, great. Like, just come and ask me, but you don't even have to, you can pick up the phone, you can call, you can text, you can email, but sometimes I might be distracted or busy. This is never going to be distracted or busy. So that's what I've been working on and stuff here for the past week and a half, and will continue to. As we wrap up and stuff here, Mark, Brandon, man, thank you guys so much for being on. I have some extra minutes and stuff here, and we'll stay on as long as you need to. Questions, comments, concerns, and stuff that, you know, without getting into the weeds, that we can answer and guide people in the right direction. Nothing? Beautiful. All right, guys. Well, we are past the hour. You guys can reach out to myself. Mark, Brandon, how do they get in touch with you? Right? They're like, damn, my mortgage company doesn't do that. I already posted the Instagram links and stuff in there. You guys have any contact information or anything like that that you want to drop in the chat box?
Cool. I just put in my Instagram again. Thanks for sharing that. That's the best way probably to get a hold of me. Also, my email I can put in there too. Let me see.
Yeah, I just want to end with, we are an open book here at Secure Choice Lending. We will share anything and everything we can. We will also build anything and everything we can. So if you ever have creative ideas, we are more than happy to collaborate. We simply just want to help you, because helping you helps us by extension. And it's just the name of the game in today's world. So always feel free to collaborate with us, whether it's social, email, phone call, text, whatever it is you guys need. We're always available for you.
Beautiful. Well, man, thank you guys so much. Mark, Brandon, we will be in touch a lot more, because again, I'm geeking out on this, and I'm like, damn, I had told it to do this. Why didn't it do this? Right? Like, so I'm probably gonna be like, hey, why didn't it do this? I thought I had this trained and stuff like that. So, but this is where we have to learn. I've been doing it for a week and a half. I'm not mad at it. And that's the other thing. Like, my wife like yells at our AI. I was like, if this is Terminator, right? Like, I don't want it pissed off at me somewhere down the road. Like, you be nice to that thing. All right. It's learning. All right. It's not an adult yet, like baby it and stuff like that. So guys, if you need anything, call, text, email me. Thank you guys so much. Brandon, Mark, thank you guys for sharing this. Thank you guys for what you're doing in the industry, right? Because agents need more help with this. And I think that makes you guys a very valuable partner and stuff. So let's stay in connection. Let's figure out how to do a hell of a lot more business and stuff here down the future. Thank you guys so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day, guys.
Cheers.